sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now, the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
Welcome back. It's Tuesday, the 24th of February, 2026, and you're listening to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. And that means we turn to one of the country's most talked about politicians, the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Each week, he helps us unpack the issues shaping national debate, from governance and policy to the shifting dynamics of our political landscape. This morning, he'll have to face me as his usual sparring partner on Coffee Time is away for a few weeks. Dr. Ceesay, welcome to the program, and thanks for joining me to take a look at the stories driving conversations across the Gambia. What has caught your eye in the last 7 days of news, trends, and developments in the media? Or would you like to start with updates on government strategy, actions, and policy?
Good morning. Why is Peter? I think he's on leave, huh?
Yeah,
We're starting a campaign. We don't want Peter back, huh? He'll take over from him. He can stay wherever he is. He doesn't have to come back.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
We have some updates from government.
Okay.
The first update has to do with the 50th anniversary of the Maritime Organization of West and Central Africa, MAUCA, which was held in Gambia last week at the Sadara Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center. Now, the event was themed celebrating 5 decades of maritime cooperation and blue prosperity. And when we say blue prosperity, we all mean the ocean. When we say green, it's the environment, and blue is the ocean. And His Excellency, the Vice President, Mohamed B.S. Jallow, represented the Gambia at the 50th anniversary. Obviously, which took place there. The organization was established in 1975 under the Charter of Abidjan. Now, MAUCA has strengthened maritime safety, regional integration, marine environmental protection, and transit transport cooperation. This is important because Gambia is a coastal country.
Yes.
We are just at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. And the Gambia now has assumed chairmanship of MAUCA for the first time, marking a historic milestone. The Vice President, in his speech, emphasized that over 80% of global trade is conducted by sea, which positions the maritime sector as a key driver of economic transformation. Now, maritime development aligns with the Gambia's renewed framework for national development, which prioritizes diversification, infrastructure modernization, trade expansion, security, and climate resilience. That is why this event was important. Now, in the same vein, Gambia also takes helm at this very prestigious organization. and the Minister, Honorable Ibrahim Silla, officially assumed chairmanship, and he urges collective responsibility for maritime development. Now, the other update is from the Gambia government itself. There's a press release on Gambians traveling abroad to participate in ongoing armed conflicts. The government expressed grave concern over reports that Gambian citizens are traveling abroad to participate in ongoing armed conflicts around the world. And we, as a government, confirm that some Gambians have tragically lost their lives in these conflicts. Therefore, we extend our condolences to the affected families, and the government unequivocally does not support or authorize participation in foreign armed conflicts. And I think I need to repeat this. This is an unequivocal position by the government. We don't support or authorize anybody to go and fight in these wars. Now, individuals who decide to engage in such activities do so entirely at their own risk, and they take full responsibility for it. These are adults, mature adults, who decide to go and fight in these wars. But we are urging them not to do it. And if they do so, they do it at their own risk. Now, citizens are strongly urged to refrain from involvement in foreign hostilities due to risks including death, injury, but also legal consequences. Now, families, community leaders, and religious authorities are called upon to counsel and guide young people against such escapades. The government remains committed to safeguarding the welfare and interest of every Gambian. The other update is from the Ministry of Health, which is also a very important update. Now, the Ministry of Health has received 2 oxygen transportation trucks from UNDP, the Gambia, which is funded by the Global Fund. This is important because now we've centralized oxygen supply in at least AFSTH and I think in Bansang, whereby now you don't have to take oxygen canisters to supply oxygen now. They are it's centralized now. They are produced in these hospitals. Now these trucks are handed over to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, also in Bansang. The support enhances safe and efficient distribution of medical oxygen nationwide, strengthening emergency and critical care services. Government expresses appreciation to partners and reaffirms commitment to building a resilient and responsive healthcare system. The other update is a good news. It's about the governance rankings, global governance ranking. The Gambia is ranked among Africa's top 10 best governed countries alongside Cape Verde, Mauritius, Botswana, Ghana, Senegal, and Sierra Leone. Globally, we are ranked number 74. It means out of 190 plus countries, Gambia is 74th most well-governed country in the world. But also in Africa, out of 54, 55 countries, we are number 10. With a governance score of 47.6. Now, notable improvements in press freedom and political rights, but also our resolve, our reforms to promote transparency, accountability, and fight corruption are those that has really made us achieve this very remarkable achievement. On the other hand, another 2026 index also puts Gambia as having the most powerful passport in West Africa as well. This is the Henley Passport Index 2026, and the Gambia ranks 64th globally. It means out of 190 plus countries, we have the most powerful passport, 64th most powerful passport. But also for West Africa, we are number 1 in terms of our passports. It remains the strongest in West Africa because we enjoy visa-free or visa on arrival access to over 70 destinations, and this reflects sustained diplomatic engagement and strengthen international cooperation. Now, the final update has to do with, is coming from the Gambia Immigration Department, informing Gambians that the government has approved a mobile biometric passport enrollment mission to the Kingdom of Spain, which will take place from the 23rd of March to the 4th of April. The initiative is designed to support Gambians residing in Spain, particularly those benefiting from the regularization program. What does that mean? The Spanish government has just announced that they will start regularizing 500,000 migrants that are living in Spain. And among these migrants, African migrants, and Gambians are also part of these migrants, and they'll need passports for their status to be regularized. The government is making it easy for them, so that we did it in November, I think, if I'm correct. No, in July. Okay. Last July, we did one. We went to Spain and then enrolled Gambians. We are doing it again for the purpose of helping them benefiting from this regularization campaign by the Spanish government. Now, the government reaffirms its commitment to serving, protecting, and engaging Gambians in the diaspora through accessible analysis. So these are the updates from government.
Dr. Ceesay, you've read or probably listened to the Age Hours commentary. What struck you most about this, account of being quietly sidelined from state functions?
Well, I think when I read it, what struck me is that is he really sidelined? I'm not sure that is the case. Perhaps that is how he is interpreting the situation. Nobody has any reason to sideline him.
How would you interpret it?
I don't know. We need to find out what's happening. I mean, if you have been invited, if you are D.A. Jao is a statesman.
Okay.
He was cabinet minister in the government. That's a huge achievement.
Okay.
He's a very prominent journalist. And he loves this country. He's very passionate about issues of this country. That is why he always contributes to the debate about how this country should move forward. And we respect him enormously. So I don't see any reason why anybody should make any calculated move to deliberately sideline him. Oversights can happen. With regards to the State House dinner, a lot of people got reached out to me after that they were not invited. But it's oversight. This could be oversight. Maybe he has interpreted as somebody being vindictive. I wouldn't see it that way. It might be that perhaps it's oversight. Nobody's perfect. And institutions at that level, they deal with a lot of issues. And sometimes you forget one or two things. So I wouldn't see it that way. I don't see, as a government, we don't see our critics as our enemies. In fact, we see our critics as torches that show us the way. Any government that doesn't listen to critics, you are sleepwalking into disaster. Because the critics show you exactly what you are doing wrong so you can rectify it. So we appreciate and accept as long as the criticisms are genuine. That is why the problem now comes. Some criticisms are not genuine. They are based on some form of agenda. And those ones, we take them head on. But we can read, we can understand. When we read criticisms or when we listen to them, we know exactly which ones are genuine and which ones are just based on personal agenda.
Would you say what
now, for DAJ, most of his criticisms are genuine. He is a citizen. He's a statesman. At his age, he will not put himself in certain situations, and we respect him for that. So I don't think that. I think we have to look at this in a positive way. I wouldn't say that somebody is sidelining him out of vindictiveness. I would say perhaps it is because of oversight here and there, and things happen. But we'll have to find out what is happening. I think that is it. I cannot say exactly what is happening. I just knew about this morning, that he didn't attend the dinner. If I didn't even pay attention, he wasn't there. That's how sometimes we can be overwhelmed with issues. I didn't even pay attention, he wasn't there. I didn't even pay attention, he wasn't at the national dialogue. Even myself, I wasn't at the national dialogue because I wasn't in town. So these are critical events. I didn't even also pay attention, he wasn't at the independence. I wouldn't know. But if he has made an observation and observes a trend that these are 3 key events that he's not been invited to, but previously he's been invited to them, yes, obviously, even if it was me, I'll still say, okay, what's happening? I'll be concerned, but I wouldn't automatically conclude that it is done out of vindictiveness. I would try to find out exactly what is happening. But I need to find out what is happening. I don't think any citizen should be sidelined and should be deprived of their privileges because of their political affiliation or because of their positions on government. I don't think that is right.
Do you think Gambia governments past and present struggle to separate criticism from hostility?
Well, I mean, you cannot make that comparison. Like I said, every government is different, and the people who are in the positions also are different. How a Minister of Information of the ilk of Ceesay would act in office and somebody else might be different, depending on our worldview and how we see things. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think any Gambian should be deprived of your privileges, national privileges, because of your positions on government. I don't think that should happen. Now, if that is the case, it is unfortunate. It's unacceptable. Diejao is a citizen. He has a right to his political affiliation. You cannot expect everybody to support government. I think this is something we need to find out and see what's happening. If it's oversight, if it's not oversight, I need to find out. For now, I cannot speak to say exactly this what has happened. What I want to just say that I wouldn't conclude that it is out of vindictiveness.
And you did agree that some of the things he made mention of are genuine, and he's not just making something out of nothing. He did mention in his piece that his involvement with Apex was the last straw for, for government. Does this reveal a deeper anxiety within the Barrow administration about, opposition unity, perhaps?
No, I mean, Apex is an insignificant outfit.
Really?
Yes. Apex is an insignificant outfit. I mean, Apex is even dead. Apex is stillborn. Because Apex is insignificant. Because who is Apex? Or a group of people who call themselves politically neutral to engage in politics. I don't know if, because trying to form a coalition is politics. It's high politics. And you call yourselves, we are politically neutral, but you want to come and put parties together you decide for those political parties that have existed sometimes for decades, having their own resources, paying for their own resources, doing their own campaign. You just come from anywhere outside, sitting in your corner and say, I'm coming to decide for how they will form your coalition. That is why Apex is dead from inception. Apex is stillborn for three reasons. One, they have a problem of transparency. Two, they call themselves neutral. Therefore, they will not have any impact. So we don't even listen to Apex. In fact, I think today is the second time I've even heard the name Apex. I heard it when it was just launched some time back, and then today I wouldn't even pay attention to Apex. So we wouldn't really look. Let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
His Excellency Oladapo, wasn't he invited at the Independence Stadium? Sorry, at the Independence celebrations.
We saw him.
UDP is in opposition. If somebody has to be wary of it's the UDP and not Apex. So we wouldn't. I wouldn't. If I don't know what's happening, what I'm saying is that as a government, now we have to clarify two things here. Someone using his office to abuse or to do things doesn't mean that this is a position of the government, the borough government. I don't even understand my point.
Yes.
You are an employee of the government.
Yes.
You sit in your office. You are supposed to do something and you refuse to do it. How do you blame the borough? It's not the borough government's policy on that. That is why I say we need to find out what is happening. You cannot put the blame on the borough government. This is not a conscious, calculated decision. But
he makes a very clear reference, to have had clear info about being categorically and deliberately sidelined in his piece. Should we assume that there is a mold for him, if you like?
No, but that is his opinion. That is how he has perceived things. I would perceive it differently. That is how he is thinking. But that might not be the case.
Not necessarily him getting somebody from the inside telling him.
But who would have that interest? Who? I mean, DHR is not a threat to the government as far as I know. Apex is insignificant. The guys are sometimes. So for me, what would be the reason to sideline him for what? I wouldn't see any reason for that. That's why I said that is how he is perceiving things. But I don't agree with that perception that he's being silent and there's a conscious policy by the government.
So he's just imagining things when he says a cabinet minister ensured his name was...
If you come to my office.
Yes.
If you come to my office. Or for example, I'll give you a clear example.
Yeah.
I have criticized the Edward Francis whatever Center for whatever.
Oh,
I don't know the full name.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When they had their lunch a couple of weeks ago, they wrote to the ministry, my office, to invite the ministry to attend the lunch.
Okay.
Yes. They wrote to my office to say, we're inviting the ministry, we're launching this center.
Yes.
We're inviting the ministry to attend. Now, and somebody in the office was asking me, do we send someone? I said, yes, of course.
Yes.
They're heading to the office. I don't own the office. The office is a public office. we send somebody, we identify someone and minuted to say, you attend this activity on our behalf. Now, if, for example, I wasn't in that office and some junior official made a decision to say, we're not attending this because of they criticize us, is that a policy of the borough administration? No, it's somebody there who is abusing his office. But that doesn't mean that there is a conscious policy of the borough administration not to or to punish or penalize people who they disagree with. That's what I'm saying, that D.A. Jawo's situation as he describes it is unfortunate. But I wouldn't say, and I even refuse to accept that it's a conscious decision by the borough government to sideline him because of his.
But you would agree that there is a possibility that somebody did, deliberately.
Like, I wouldn't know.
Remove his
like
name
I said,
from
I wouldn't
the invitation
know.
list.
If he's saying that he's not been invited to the dinner, which he should have been invited to, because he's a former he's a journalist. He should have been invited there. I didn't even pay attention to that.
He is claiming that a minister ensured this, not just some junior staff or someone irrelevant.
A minister doesn't make the decisions of invitees. That's not the job of a minister. Which minister? It's not the minister's job.
They could have the
invitees. Okay, let me give you the invitees at the dinner. I know about that. It is the DPP, office of the president, that makes it invites people. It's not the whose minister. It's not the minister's job. How can a minister become so low, involving yourself in invitees? That's not your job of a minister. A minister's job is above that. So which minister will really put your office so low to go and get involved in inviting people and who to invite, who not to invite?
If a minister, let's say, for example, decides to go down there, would they have the influence to do that?
Well, I don't think so. Because if I was responsible, that's my job, to invite and not to invite people. No minister can influence my job, particularly if I know I'm doing the right thing. Nobody should accept that. But that's what I'm saying, that I didn't even pay attention that he didn't come to the dinner. I didn't even pay attention because there are lots of people. What I'm saying is that he should have been invited because he's a former journalist and then he's a former minister of information. He should have been invited. If he's not, then we'll find out why he wasn't invited. It could be oversight, simple oversight. I wouldn't make a conclusion that it is out of vindictiveness. I would not. Now, any serious minister would not really belittle your position to go down that low, to go and look at invite list, guest list to say invite X, don't invite X. No, I mean, ministers don't have that time, to be honest.
The UMC leader, I'm sure you heard, reportedly made claims President Barrow offered him vice presidency in an attempt to stop him challenging him in the upcoming presidential race. What's your government's response?
Well, I think the NPP has really dealt with that issue. I mean, me even discussing it would even give it more credence and more relevance. It's false. It is misinformation. It never happened. It never took place.
Never ever.
Never ever. And that is why, that's the surprise. I mean, the UMC has been touting themselves as a party with a difference.
You're saying this is an absolute fabrication.
It's not, if there was another word that is more qualifying than fabrication, I would use it. It was somebody who just sat and just fabricated something in the figment of his imagination. And then put up something that never existed. It never happened. That meeting never took place. That promise never took place. It is false. It is serious misinformation. It never happened. And I think the NPP has really come out to really dealt with that very situation very, very, very aptly. So that's what I can say. It is false. It never happened. It's false. Totally false.
Unbelievable. Anyways, your ministry's social media page posted the NPP statement. What happened there? Tell us about it.
We did what we are supposed to do as a ministry. Any information, the ministry's role is to make sure that we defend and protect the integrity of the presidency, the highest institution of this office. In fact, we should have been the first to even write a rebuttal to that statement, because the appointment of a vice president is the job of a president in line with the Constitution. It is his mandate as a president. Any information, any statement that brings the presidency into disrepute, making allegations that are false, it is our job as a ministry to either release a statement to rebut it or to amplify whoever does that. Now, I've seen people saying that making a a permanent wedge between party and the government. Yes. In some instances, for the promotion of democracy and for the sanity of our democracy, should be some separation. But not in all cases. The relationship is fluid. Remember, it's an NPP government. And if the government underperforms, who is punished? The NPP is punished. So you cannot have the total separation of party and the government. Now, again, that brings me to Politics 101. There's a difference between the state and the government.
But there can be a clear distinction.
There, in some instances, yes. For example, the NPP has released many statements over the past years. Did you ever see the Minister of Information post it? No, because this is politics, purely partisan politics. This particular issue has to do with the presidency. Bringing it into disrepute, making allegations against the president. Is our role either to amplify a statement that clarifies it, or we also gives a statement and clarify. In this case, we did not bring the statement, but the NPP, which is in government, brings it and we amplified it. And I see nothing wrong with that. Now, what I'm saying is that there are three things: that the state, the government, and the party. We need to understand the relationship between these three organs. The state, which is permanent. The state is permanent. It never goes. Whether governments come and go, this is the main difference between the state and the government. Governments come and go. The state is permanent. State institutions like the police, the army, immigration, prison. These are state institutions, the civil service, that are permanent. That is why the GOs forbids them from openly engaging in partisan politics, because they are permanent institutions that are supposed to serve the public because they are funded by public money. Now, governments come and go. After every elections, people vote for a new government or they maintain a government. And you have the party, which is the vehicle that brings a new government. Now, the relationship between the state and the government is clear. Between the state and the party is clear. Total separation. Between the government and the party is a bit fluid, depending on the situation. In this situation, it is my assessment that the MPP press release can be shared by the Ministry of Information, because the content has to do with making a clarification on a statement that brought the presidency into disrepute. And I think it is our job to amplify that statement.
What's your opinion of other opposition parties, rubbishing the claims made by the UMC with regards to the position offer?
Well, I cannot comment on that. I'm not part of the...
Does it not give solitude
no, but what I'm saying is
NPP?
that those who, even a child born today at Brikama Health Center knows that statement is false. So they have a right to debunk it because they know it's just mere talk. And in fact, in that particular interview, many other statements were made that were false. I don't want to go into it, but there was there were a series of statements in that particular interview that were really false, that were made. And but like I said, this is politics for you. People make false statements thinking that this will give them political capital. But unfortunately, in this case, it backfired.
Allegations, of this nature risk undermining public confidence in the integrity of the electoral process, don't you think?
Not the electoral process. It has nothing to do with the electoral process. The electoral process cannot be involved into this. The electoral process is very different. There are laws and regulations that govern the electoral process. In terms of voter registration, in terms of what the IEC does its jobs. The IEC's actions or inactions is what can undermine the electoral process by and large. Not a president offering a citizen a job. If that has happened, I don't think so. What this has done is perhaps bring the presidency into disrepute, or also undermining the integrity of the presidency, because the manner in which it was packaged and sold out to the public was that come and get this position for you to abandon your political career, which really is false. It never happened. And I think that should be very clear to every Gambian.
I mean, I'm trying to look at what he said here. This is one of the newspaper headlines on the Standard page. Bensouda vows to contest election even if United Party is unregistered. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think this is the contradiction within the UMC itself. And I think Gambians should be wary. Now, the UMC had said that they have not selected or elected their flag bearer yet. That there will be a Congress, a process to do that. So, but Bensouda is putting himself as the de facto candidate. So which is which? I mean, you are fooling people that you are a truly democratic outfit, and that currently you don't have a flag bearer, and that there will be a process to select that flag bearer. But you have someone now who is saying that I am going to be contesting for the election. So which. And secondly, if you look at all their logos, even in some of their vehicles, it is his picture which is there. So it means that currently they've already. So the process is just will be staged and choreographed to give people the thinking that it's a democratic outfit. But no, I think it's been decided. So I think he's a citizen. If he fulfills the conditions as stipulated by the IEC, anybody can run for office. So for us, we cannot comment on that. That's a decision for him and his UMC to make. For us as a government, what we know is that we are focused on delivering to the Gambian people. The president, that is his focus. The president was elected by 53% of Gambians in the last general elections. And he made a pledge to transform lives and ensure every Gambian lives a dignified life. And he's been delivering. You've seen recently we've achieved 90% electricity access across the country.
Yeah,
stable electricity.
Yeah.
We've also ensured that we've brought water to thousands of communities in this country, clean drinking water. We've also made sure that we are building roads, connecting communities, promoting trade and tourism in this country, building roads everywhere, roads that people have been crying for 60, 70, 80 years. They've never had those roads in Hakalang, in Kiang West, and other critical roads we've built, building schools and classrooms, building universities, empowering women through our Women Empowerment Fund, empowering young people by making sure that we give them TVET and other opportunities as well. This is what we are doing, promoting, consolidating our democracy, building a country which is competing with today any index that is coming out, whether it is press index, whether it is governance index, whatever index, Gambia is either first or in the first, fifth. I think this is what the president is focusing on right now. So those are the people who want to get to State House. Let them be making the noise. What the president is doing is delivering to the Gambian people. I think Gambians appreciate that. They've seen his vision, they've seen his transformative agenda, and they appreciate it, and they know he has delivered. Gambians right now want stability and certainty. They want leadership, they want experience, and only President Barrow is offering them that at the moment, nobody else.
So you do believe that this is a strategy by the UMC to just make false allegations against its opposition?
Well, I don't know. They know why they are doing it. They know only them can explain their agenda. Invite them and ask them why they've been going around lying about things that has never happened. I think they'll be in a better position to answer that.
I believe they did a similar thing to Dabo as well, making age statements against him. And
yeah, I mean, I don't even like to talk about this outfit. They are not significant, to be honest. I mean, you're giving them relevance in a very important platform. Aji, please. So I think, but you even mentioned this platform.
They are there, whether or not we acknowledge them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
it's good that we talk about them, at least we point out.
What I'm saying is that if they go out and make false allegations and make lies and misinform the public, they should be punished for that. And not be giving a platform as important as this. Let them come out and clarify that. When did the meeting take place? Where did it take place? Who was there? Governments need to have that information. I said, in the same platform that was...
They need to be called out, and what better platform than this?
They've been called out by other political parties. They've been called out by civil society. They've been called out by the government, by the NPP and the government house. I think that's enough now.
Let's look at the energy sector. We read on the Points newspaper that lawmakers press Pura as fuel tests still are being sent to Senegal. What's the government take on this? Well,
I cannot really go deep into that. I don't know the technicalities there, why it is sent. Maybe it is for testing. Maybe I'm not sure whether they have a testing lab, or maybe we have it, maybe we don't have it. I don't need to find out. Maybe we have it, maybe it's having problems. So I don't even know the details of that. So it wouldn't be wise for me to go into those details. I'll find out what is happening with that, and I'll get back next week on that.
We had praises about our passports, but the ordinary Gambian is still struggling to get one. Yeah.
Are you struggling?
Oh, well, I can't remember the last. Okay, now that you've mentioned it, let me get a little bit personal. I'm struggling to get my identity card. I've, to get one since last year.
Okay, let's do the passport thing. No Gambian is struggling to get a passport. In fact,
Okay.
recently we've sent enrollment teams across the country in every region enrolling Gambians to get passports, the biometric passports. That one, there are no issues. I've not had
With the
biometric
biometrics.
passports. The problem is with the machine readable passport. Those ones, you don't even, I mean, if you are in the Gambia,
Yes.
why do you have to go for that passport? They're even more, I think they're even more expensive than the biometric ones. And in fact, most countries now don't even accept the machine readable passport because it doesn't have biometric information that other countries the security features that other countries want in a passport. They don't have it. That passport is mostly for Gambians who are outside of this country and need a passport urgently and cannot come to the Gambia to get a passport. But Gambia today, immigration department is enrolling Gambians on the biometric passport. I mean, we have been sending a team to Spain and Italy to give these biometric passports. We've sent a team around the country. In every region, they've been around giving passports to people. So Gambians are not struggling to get a passport. With the issue of the ID card, yes, there has been some challenges there, partly due to access to deliver consumables, but that has been resolved. But like I said, we've got a long-term solution to that. We've currently signed a BOT with margins. The Ghana company from Ghana that also was behind the Ghana card success in Ghana. And very soon we'll start issuing passport ID cards to each and every Gambian. And there are two components, the digital ID and the physical ID. Now, in fact, every Gambian will be given the chance to get an ID card at the same price as we are paying now. In fact, those with existing ID cards will have to replace their ID cards for as long as it is valid for free.
I have my
receipt.
receipt.
Will be valid for 10 years as well.
I have my receipt. I'll hopefully be able to get it.
Once the process starts, the contract has been signed. Very soon, they'll roll out the enrollment. Very soon, they'll roll that out. And once you have a valid Gambian ID card, it will be replaced for a cost for zero cost. So we've solved that problem now. We are moving forward. That was an issue before. The issue was that was a challenge, but now we've solved it as a government. That's a more sustainable plan. A BOT has been signed, and very soon the issue of ID card wouldn't be an issue anymore.
The Observer 24 reports that the NDP accuses IEC of bias over delayed registration process. Would you say there is a bias there?
I trust I'm someone who trusts the IEC.
Because they would take NPP matters seriously,
no.
You don't sense any bias?
No. I mean, the IEC is an independent institution, responsible, given the mandate to organize elections in this country. We cannot question its integrity. Otherwise, we question the very foundation of our democracy. We cannot do that. The IEC is an independent institution, and we trust them, and we have to trust them. They've not done anything that will make us believe that they are treating parties in a manner in which...
Obviously, the NDP doesn't... Which is NDP? Is it National Development Plan? They don't share that.
What is NDP?
Well, that's what's written here.
What is NDP? Is it National Development Plan?
I have to verify that.
Well, I don't know about NDP. So there is another insignificant outfit. So we cannot even...
Well, let's make sure it's not that. And yeah, you mentioned about how government is doing all it can development-wise, providing electricity, infrastructure, and
water, schools, access, electricity, water. I mean,
we've seen 117 communities reported on the newspaper front pages, and one that clearly states that there are 200 more to go. Yes.
No. So what the president has just done a couple of weeks ago is to connect to the grid 719 communities.
Yeah.
Have been connected to the grid now.
200 more to be commissioned.
200 more to be commissioned, and this now is moving us closer to universal access. So this 719, which were inaugurated last 2 weeks ago, pushed us to the 90% mark of access to electricity. Now, with 200 more to be commissioned, once those ones are also connected to the grid, we are almost there. We are almost now achieved universal access, and the target is before the end of 2026. We'll get universal access. I think we're going to be the first country in West Africa to achieve that remarkable achievement. If I'm correct, I don't see any country achieving that, to be honest.
Okay, so Mocha, we see Ibrahim Asila as chairman. He talked about how the maritime is space for a lot of job opportunities and how young people can tap into that. What would you say your government's position is going to be, in doing what it can to make sure that we really fully tap into those opportunities?
We are aware that we have huge maritime potential.
Okay.
See, we have to understand one thing. Gambia is strategically located. Gambia is almost in the middle of the world. You go up, you go to Western Europe. You go down, you go to Southern Africa. You go right, you go towards Asia. You go left, you go towards the America, the Brazils and the Argentinas and so on and so Southern America. So because of our location,
yes,
it makes the country well positioned to become a maritime hub. And the government is aware of this. That is why we are building the new deep sea port in Sanyang. This will now be the final piece in the puzzle in achieving that goal, transforming Gambia into a maritime hub, having all the logistical facilities that a maritime hub should have for big shipping trolleys that are traversing the world, because we are just at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is a major corridor of maritime travel. So that is why the president has the vision to build this seaport in this deep seaport in Sanyang, and I think that will really put us in a very good position to tap into the huge potentials of the maritime industry, and I think we're on that going towards that. Currently, the Banjul port has been made to be more efficient. The concession is really yielding the benefits that was envisaged when we signed the contract with Alport. And the next move now is to build a deep sea port in Sanyang. I think that would really put us in a very, very, very advantageous position to become a maritime hub in the sub-region.
On a final note, what message would you give to Gambians who are concerned about ethical boundaries in political competition?
Well, there is no message for that.
Anybody can just do as Talib did.
Ethics is subjective to some extent. What you might find unethical, somebody might think it's acceptable, particularly in politics. What is important is that we live in an era of digital tools now. And so when you come out and act in an ethical way, sometimes it's the communities that now punish you, and sometimes not the state anymore, particularly when you do things on ethical issues that are on the border between what is legal and what is illegal. For example, misinformation. If you sit on a platform and misinform the public, within a couple of minutes, people punish you for misinforming the public. So like I said, it's for us to make sure that the Gambia is one country. We're all the same. We can have our differences, political differences, but we all have one destination, and the destination is Destination Gambia, to make sure this country is positioned to become a successful, thriving, stable, secure democracy. What that means is that every Gambian who wakes up in this country can live a dignified life, can have access to the most basic needs, and that is the president's vision. Can have access to electricity, like it's done. There are villages in Gambia that has existed for hundreds of years. They've never had electricity before. They've not had the privilege of drinking cold water. Today, the president has provided for them. Having access to, when you are sick, you are cured where you are. Your child can be able to go to school where they live. You have roads that can make you move, go to access healthcare centers, access schools, access family, access trading centers. That is what the president is doing, that every Gambian, you live a dignified life. You having access to the most basics. That is the president's vision. But also that every young Gambian is able to fulfill your true potential. If you want to be a footballer, you become a football star. If you want to be a coder, you become one of the best. If you want to be a teacher, that is why the president is now making sure that we are investing in higher education, investing in basic education, but also investing in vocational education. And this is the vision that the president has. Now, everything else is politics. Today, we all know that the opposition has no alternative. They have not offered a credible alternative for what is existing right now. Even they themselves have acknowledged that. I have seen the opposition even coming out to say, the president is delivering in infrastructure. Then what is the problem then? The only reason why most of them are in the opposition, criticizing the government, is because they just want to get access to power, because they believe that there is high premium in political power. That's the only reason. But when it comes to what the president is doing now, as we speak, there is nobody in the opposition that has the vision, the transformative agenda, that has the experience, the stability to be able to do what the president is doing.
And
So
would you say that is effective in criticizing government to get into power?
Well, it's not, because the people are not sleeping anymore. Gambians are not sleeping anymore. Gambians know what they want. Gambians know who is good for them. They know who is delivering and who's not delivering. So the 5th of December will be a decisive factor. What Gambians want is stability and continuity. We don't want disruption. And I think that anything else apart from, I think for us, is stability. Stability is voting President Adama Barrow in again on the 5th of December to continue the hard work he's starting. I think that is stability, is good. That is what is best for our democracy. That is what is best for the reforms that are ongoing. That is best for the development trajectory at it is. That is the best. That is the optimal decision Gambians have to make now. Voting in President Barrow on the 5th of December, because that is what is good for the reforms, for the continuity of the reform. That is what is good for the trajectory of our development, and that is what is good for governance overall. Anything else would be disruption, would be a U-turn, and would be catastrophic for the country.
Dr. Ceesay, thank you very much. And Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services.
sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.